FCS parents, hope you guys have had a great week. It's been a couple weeks since I've done a Thursday Thoughts. I apologize for that. I do intend to do one every single week, but my schedule sometimes gets a little bit crazy. Usually got a priority list of things to do, and I try to check things off throughout the day, and some days that list gets shorter, and some days that list gets longer, depending on what's going on around here. Last week in particular, I was actually in the classroom last Thursday. I was a substitute teacher for the language arts class, which was great. I don't get to see those middle school and high school students often enough, so it was good to connect with them, be in the classroom, teach them, find out what's going on and how they're doing. It was a lot of fun. In fact, the 11th and 12th graders really impressed me. They're doing Elizabethan literature right now, specifically Elizabethan sonnets. So we're looking at guys like Sidney and Spencer and Shakespeare and Donne, and those students did a great job of breaking down and analyzing those sonnets. Those are not easy to do. And they did an incredible job of really giving me the meaning behind what those sonnets are, so I was really impressed by those guys last week. But I'm here this week. We've got some important things to talk about. First of all is fundraising. Our fourth quarter fundraiser starts tomorrow, March 1st. In fact, packets will be going home with students tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure you check their backpacks. It's with the Great American Company. They've got cookies and candies and meats and cheeses, and so a lot of great stuff in there. I'm kind of curious about the meats right now. It's kind of making me hungry. But make sure you check those out. It's a great fundraiser. I know many of you are always interested in doing the fundraisers, helping to reduce your tuition a little bit. So again, if you're interested in doing that fourth quarter fundraiser, you don't have to. We certainly encourage everybody to do that. But if you want to do that, be on the lookout for those packets coming home tomorrow. The other big thing we're getting a lot of phone calls and inquiries about is enrollment. Now, usually during this time of the school year, we are in the thick of enrollment. We've got a lot of students signed up already. This year, we have to slow down enrollment just a little bit because, as I've told you before, we are actually in the middle of changing our school information system. Now, as a school, we generate a lot of data on all sorts of things. Having a system that can manage all that data is very important. 5 years ago, in terms of the systems we had, it can handle the number of students we had and everything was going great. Over the last 5 years, we've almost doubled in size. So our systems have to be able to maintain that growth. And currently, none of our systems talk to each other. In fact, we've got two primary systems, FreshBooks and Quick Schools, that hopefully all of you are familiar with. FreshBooks handles the tuition and the financial side of things. Quick Schools handles most everything else. But those two systems don't talk to each other at all, which means for our staff, that's a lot of data transfer, a lot of looking back and forth between systems and making sure everything is consistent between them. And we want to be able to move to a system that is much more cohesive to what we're doing here. We've been doing a lot of training. In fact, I can't even tell you how many conference calls I've been on over the last few weeks to go over this new system, make sure that they have all of our systems correct, that they're setting it up correctly for us so that it's ready to go when they release it to us, and then training on our part so that we know how to use the system correctly. And there's a lot of different facets to it. Again, we've got a lot of systems, probably about 5 systems right now that we use for various things on campus. This new system will incorporate all of that and streamline everything. Just to give you one example, you guys enroll your kids in the school, but once they're enrolled in the school, we've got a lot of work to do on our side to get your kids set up in our systems, enrolled in their courses, make sure they have everything set up and straight, the grade books are set up correctly, so the report cards come out correctly. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that, all of it behind the scenes. At the beginning of the year, before school starts, most of that stuff has to be set up, and currently it takes 3 of us an entire day just to enroll students into their courses. With, in particular, middle school and high school, they're with different teachers and different places for all of their classes. So you can imagine there's a lot of stuff. We have to do each student almost individually in terms of how we move those students around with our current system. With this new system, it has a lot more batch functions, so we can move students around and enroll them in groups and batches much more easily with the new system. So what did take 3 people an entire day will probably take 1 person a few hours at this point with the new system. So, and that's just one aspect of this new system. I'm really excited about it. Myself, the office staff, we're all super excited about it because it's going to streamline a lot of things we're doing, and ultimately it's going to streamline things for you as parents as well. For example, you guys are filling out what we call a pre-application right now. On our website, you fill out that form, it comes to us. Anybody that turns in that form, once the system is ready, we're hoping it's ready within the next 2 weeks or so. Once it's ready, anybody who's turned in that pre-application will get a notification from us that the system is now up and running. You will then get into our new system. You will pay your enrollment fee that unlocks the system and gets you into the system. And at that point, you can take care of everything else. You fill out that application, it puts all that data in that you guys put in, and then it automatically feeds that into our school information system. It'll also take you directly to the financial aspect, and you will fill out all of your financial agreement there as well, and you'll get all that done online in one place, and it'll be, all that information will come to us in one place, and we'll be able to move through that seamlessly. There's going to be a bit of a learning curve. Obviously, it's a new system for you as parents. It's a new system for us as a school as well. So we'll all be learning together. But again, in the long run, it's going to make things much smoother and easier as we go down the road. All right. If you have any questions about that, please let us know. We are getting a lot of questions about that in the office. But again, the pre-application you fill out now, that lets us know that you need to have access to the system. If you fill out that application, you will get a notification from us. As soon as the system is up and running, at that point, you log in and the whole process will start officially at that point. Apologize for the delay. It's kind of out of our control right now. It's how fast the company can get things up and running. And again, it's probably going to be at least a couple more weeks before that is ready to go. All right. One other thing, we do have a lot of field trips coming up in the very near future. Some next week, in fact, 2 next week, I believe. And then more as the month goes on. We've got a group going to the state capitol. We've got a group going to a choir competition. We've got a brick space. We've got Exploratorium. There's a lot of stuff going on this month for field trips. So parents, make sure you're clear about field trips. Make sure if you're not sure, check with your student's teacher about any field trips that may be going on. Again, there's a lot of them. Too many to go over in detail right now. But make sure you keep that straight. Check the school calendar. And remember, we usually carpool for these field trips. So if you're available to carpool with us, you can earn fish hours for that. Please make sure you can help us out and drive kids, especially to the bigger ones like the brick space and the Exploratorium. We'll definitely need drivers for those, and those take place at the end of March. So again, be looking for those field trip permission slips coming home, and then fill out the bottom of that if you can drive and you can take other students as well. That would be fantastic. All right, again, a lot going on. We're almost done with the third quarter, believe it or not. In the middle of March is the end of the third quarter and the start of the fourth quarter, and then it's the home stretch to the end of the school year. There's still a lot going on, a lot to do. We'll keep you up to date. Make sure you are checking your weekly emails you get from the school, making sure you're checking the school calendar, and of course, Thursday Thoughts, and keep you updated on things going on here at Fairfield Christian School. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Hope to see you guys real soon. God bless. Hey parents, just one more thing I wanted to bring up because I just actually got a text about it. So please make sure you are aware of what your kids are doing online at all times. I'm not sure if you've heard about this Momo challenge that's been popping up online. It actually cropped up first last summer, and then it kind of got shut down, and now it's cropping up again. It's a disturbing image of a woman with a bird body challenging kids to do all sorts of strange things and dangerous things, such as stab other people, to overdose on pills, to commit suicide. There's all sorts of things that this Momo challenge is telling kids to do. Incredibly disturbing. But it's just a simple reminder that there is a lot of negative things on the internet. You as a parent need to be aware at all times what your child is doing on the internet. Child should never have access to the internet in a bedroom. It should always be in a public place. Do not allow your kids to wear headphones when they're watching things. I know it gets disturbing. There might be a lot of noise. But when they're wearing headphones, you may not be fully aware of what your child is listening to. And it's very easy to go down the rabbit hole. If you've ever been on YouTube or any of those sites, they suggest other things. It's kind of crazy how quickly they can go from something innocent to something incredibly disturbing. Please make sure you are paying attention to what your kids have access to on the internet. In fact, especially with the social sites that are on the internet, elementary students, just my opinion, elementary students should never have access to those at all. Middle school and high school, that's kind of a little more discretionary, but you got to know exactly what your kids are doing and what they're doing and how they're doing it. There's a lot of dangerous things on there. The Momo Challenge is starting to make national news now, and I know there are several parents that have personally dealt with this. So please make sure You are, again, watching your students, their internet access, everything they're doing. I would even suggest, I talk to a lot of parents all the time that say, I really don't know about this internet stuff. I don't know how to use it. I don't know what's going on. If you don't know what's going on, don't allow your kids to do it. We live in a broken world. There is evil in the world. There are people out there looking to harm others. Please make sure you are constantly aware of what your child is doing online. Check everything out. Even it sounds like an innocent name, right? Momo Challenge. It is not innocent. It is highly disturbing. Again, monitor your kids' internet access, their television access to any sort of that sort of thing. Monitor that all the time, please.